Hello, it's Edward. How are you doing? Oh. Let's talk healing. Your healing and mine. But we're gonna go into some deeper stuff, things that I've been meaning to talk about, but trying to find a way to do this. I'm sorry for the hum of my engine, but it's 3 degrees out and it's kind of cold. Got some space. I'll edit that part out. Now, okay. Now let's take a look at your timeline and beliefs. Let's put this on a graph here, okay? Your timeline and beliefs. Well, let's just go your beliefs of self, and then your reality. Okay? We can put it that way. So as you progress on your timeline, so you go through life and you're programmed to be at a certain reality. Okay? At a certain reality. Your beliefs take you on a certain reality. Okay? But as you increase your healing, okay, you shift to a different timeline. So let's say you're programmed by narcissistic family members, and you're breadcrumbed and you're a people pleaser and all this stuff. Your reality is a low frequency reality. Okay? You cannot jump timelines. So you're going to fluctuate these ups and downs along your line, along your timeline. Okay? Now what's going to happen is when you're going in and healing, okay, you could be navigating many things, lots of different kinds of abuse, and you could have looked to the external to get the validation you need for self and with people pleasing, and then you could step into addictions and everything else. Now imagine, if you will, that we're navigating the timeline, and it's kind of a bumpy road, and it's a low frequency timeline. You're in the 3D. So as you start healing and going into a higher timeline, let's use addictions for example. Now addiction, active addiction, is a low frequency because you're in a lot of pain, you're self-sabotaging, you've got limiting beliefs of self, lots of guilt, and all this trauma you've got to navigate. So when you do the 12 steps, for example, you're healing through things and taking responsibility and accountability for your actions, your behaviors, and everything else. This raises your frequency and makes you step into a higher timeline, which is no active addiction, but you still are programmed as I am an addict, but I am not in active addiction. Okay, well, your highest timeline here, now timelines move along reality simultaneously. So you can be literally stepping in and out of a higher and lower timeline all the time because you are not healing. You're staying stagnant. Okay? Now, your highest timeline in your self-worth is way up here. And as you progress and go through your healing, you're up here right now we're here, but when we heal, we go up to this spot over here as we progress along our healing journey and our contracts and everything else that we have to learn. We raise our frequency to get to the highest timeline. In this timeline, you are not an addict. You are the highest version of self, because all of these parallel realities, timelines, move simultaneously. They do not go from week to week or year to year. They are paralleled, intertwined to a certain degree depending on your philosophy, and you can navigate those. You can choose to go back into addiction and drop down your timeline, or you can choose to stay in this higher timeline where you've been reprogramming through the 12 steps. It's the same with any healing. If you feel through everything, take accountability and responsibility for stuff, you increase your frequency. Thus, you're stepping away from the active addiction and into a higher timeline. But remember, you keep calling yourself an addict, you're going to stay there. You don't label yourself. You You don't hold on to that. You need to release these things, because this is what holds you in that lower frequency. You see, when you see that you're at this level and it's higher than this level, you want to keep that level, right? So you maintain the philosophy of the 12 steps because it serves your higher purpose. It gets you into a healing area, a higher frequency, down the next timeline, along that timeline. But we want to not stay stagnant. We want to keep moving up. So yes, you're out of active addiction. But now you need to go in and heal these traumas instead of just suppressing them. Yes, I know it's hard, okay? But we need to navigate these. The more you heal through these things, one at a time, you quiet your mind, you stop the negative talk, you follow my content and learn how to do these things, because it will help you in such a remarkable way. When you go in and you increase that frequency, you're gonna hit that place up here from here, right? You're gonna increase your self-worth, increase your frequency, increase to the next timeline, and then the next timeline, and the next timeline, and you're going to start getting rewards. So better intuition, better discernment. Your reality is going to reflect the work you do inside. Yes, that's how it works. So the more you work and increase your frequency, then you start moving across a higher timeline, a better reality. When you do that, then you get the rewards for doing the healing, increasing the frequency, shifting the timeline. It affects your reality. But it has to move. It can't just be instantaneously you're here. You have to go up, right? You have to go. Okay, there's another timeline up here. Okay, we got to go to that one. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. Oh, we're going to fall down here. It's like, okay. We got something we have to work on back here. Then it's going to shoot you up because you're completing healing cycles. These are contracts that you've written, that you accepted to come here to work through. Okay, your soul has got to work through these contracts. Staying stagnant in this, okay, I'm not in active addiction, is stagnicity. It is a stagnant moment. Okay, you need to keep moving forward. You have to heal through those traumas, which means you have to feel them, start to finish. But we have to get out of our head. Okay, you put your mind and your emotions are like your mental thought, your mental health and your emotional health are two different things. I talk about this all the time. You have to control your thought, and that's my primary thing. It's very important, as much as water is, and better nutrition, is take that thought and get it out. All the obsessive thoughts, any bad self-talk, anything I wish I shoulda, coulda stuff. No, get rid of it. It is in a different timeline. You have to live in the now, in the moment. If you keep worrying about the past or reflecting on the past, it's not going to change your future because you can't stay in the now. And it's when you're in the now that you get to heal, that you get to go through this moment. And then you raise your frequency, and that lines you for a higher reality, a higher frequency, a greater abundance, and not just financial, but spiritual, love of self, fulfillment, compassion, peace. Oh, these great feelings and experiences. You can do this because I've been able to do this. I could have gone into, like, I had an addictive personality. Like, I gamed my experiences away. I didn't really drink because I felt I could have got lost in it. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. And drugs and stuff, I could have gone into this, things. I tried a few things and it's like, no, this is making me paranoid. I don't like this. It's like God said, no, you can't do this because this is going to take you off your trajectory. Right? But there's other things. There's lots of other things that I was doing to escape from my reality that took me out, that made me feel better about myself. And these are things that I've had to navigate through. I've had to heal through. I've had to accept.